ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's the Unpopular Review NXT edition. I'm one of your hosts, Badguy Jack. Usually I am joined by the captain, but she has shipped far, far, far away, and she's taking the night off. But someone joining me. I'm excited to be working with him. He seems very enthused. He seems very excited. He's the boss of all of this. EC, aka the executive consultant, Chris Harris. Come on down, sir. Hey, how are you? I'm the guy full of energy, and you're just like so excited to
you got to cut the executive consultant, the champ, some slack. He was on AEW last week. He was on SmackDown on Friday. He was on Raw last night, and now he's on NXT. He's a little exhausted, to say the least. Not to mention the entertainment episode he just did as well. He's been all over the place. That's usually you and the aforementioned blast from the past Kayden, who you like to be on every single show. I don't stick me to SmackDowns, but now I'm officially a part of the Monday Night Raw roster. But no Kayden. I mean, not Kayden. What's her name? Shayna? Captain?
No
Shayna?
captain. Oh my goodness, this guy. The boss is all over the place. He's just biting all over his words. But yes, no captain tonight. You got the bad guy. You got the executive, aka bad executive. What up, fam? Ruben. He's a great young lad. The great young lad. I thought NXT was okay. It was all right. I mean, I felt like paint by numbers. Usually I ask the captain, hey, how did you feel about the episode? I know you was juggling both entertainment and NXT, and I do appreciate you, sir, being on the show with me tonight. And I don't know. I mean, from what you saw on NXT, what did you think?
All right, so I'm going to tell unpopular opinion since I'm actually doing Unpopular Review and I'm on this show. Of the 4 shows that I just mentioned, the 4 shows we actually review, NXT is my least favorite. Ooh, probably unpopular. But I'm not a huge fan of NXT, even though it's right down the street from me and I can go every week. But I choose not to because it's just not that interesting to me. And then you have this episode and a taped episode. Definitely should not be that interesting. But believe it or not, I thought it was pretty good. Okay. I was pleasantly surprised by it. I definitely enjoyed it better than last night's Raw, which is my number 2 show. But I definitely enjoyed it better than last night's Raw. I thought it was a solid episode, and I was really surprised because, like I said, it was a taped episode, and normally WWE phones it in on their taped episodes. And you look like you disappeared. Oh, no, you're back.
Maybe it was my internet acting up. I thought it was you, but it was apparently me. I do apologize about that. But I thought it was an okay show. I thought it was all right. I mean, I think something that might have ruined the show for me is so a lot of people, sometimes spoilers don't bother people. The spoilers don't bother me either. So I think because I knew certain things, it was like, because like you said, and I'm glad you mentioned that, it was a tape show on Sci-Fi. And I don't know, it's just like, it was like it was okay. I felt like I didn't miss nothing if I walked away for a minute and whatnot. So why don't we just jump into the very first segment, which is Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher against Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. I mean, these tag teams, these individuals in this match, I mean, they look like they're always ready to smack each other in the face. They usually have a hard hitting style. And I thought it was okay. It was all right. And I was moving around a little bit. I was trying to get a little settled in and prep for the show, from taking notes, from getting ready for not even just with my notes, but the stuff to prep for the online stuff. And I thought this match was all right. And I mean, the real highlight of this match was Ridge Holland, I believe his name is Ridge Holland. He comes back. He distracts Timothy, which leads to Pete Dunne hitting the bitter end on Tommaso Ciampa, getting the pin. And it looked like they're trying to recreate that, I guess, the brand, with the exception of oh God, I forget his name now because he was with Oney Lorcan for a minute, but I always called him Player too. But it looked like they're trying to recreate the brand. A lot of people were sitting there saying, why would he come back? And not even why would he come back? That's the terrible reason to act. But he comes back and they're like, why would he team up with these guys? And it's almost like that story with the Undisputed Era has been done, it's over with. Why would he come back? But I feel like the story was, this was going to be the team, right? So I get it, I see the story, but executive consultant, you are the guest for tonight. So much to guess that he didn't even wear matching colors with me. We are not in sync.
I don't wear matching colors, and I'm not that skinny to wear a tank top like that. But let's go ahead and talk about it. First thing you're looking for, Danny. Oh, yeah, see it. First thing we'll talk about is Oney Lorcan's tag team partner was Danny Burch, who's injured. He's going to be out for a couple months, so that's why they had to bring in somebody else. But, hey, you know what's more interesting, Rich Holland? These comments. Let's go ahead with it. Good evening, Unpopular Review fans. It's Mr. Mike Riggs. Welcome you to the WWE NXT review for Tuesday night, July 27, 2001. I couldn't believe it that Dakota Kai attacked her best friend Raquel Gonzalez, the NXT Women's Champion. I understand that this is all a part of the show, but in my opinion, Raquel Gonzalez is number one. But on another subject, Raquel Gonzalez will beat Dakota Kai and still be the WWE NXT Women's Champion because she's a fan favorite in his opinion. Ruben Lopez, what's up, George Samuel Lewis? I learned something in school, and there's a place called Nothing, Arizona. You know who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah. And you know who cares about it? Nobody. He's from Arizona also. Mad Dog Kelly, what's up, guys? Good to see EC Chris Harris and bad guy Ronald P. Jackson. It's always good to see me, Ron, not so much. Pete Dunne. Don't need them. They need Pete. Correct. Pete Dunne is the star of that brand. Pete Dunne is a future star, in my opinion. Mid-Carter star at best, but still a star. Danny Burch is his name.
Ruben is a great guy. Ruben, I appreciate you, sir. Thank
Ruben
you.
Ruben is a great guy. He actually sent me a picture of my roommate earlier. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular Review. This is the NXT portion. I'm the executive consultant. Over there is your host, Badguy Jack. Please make sure that you like, love, and share this to all of your wrestling timelines and groups. And make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at Unpopular Review. And
we got another question.
Keep them comments coming. Guys, why was the NXT taped tonight and will it be taped next week? Yes. It will be taped next week. It was taped tonight, and that is because they're making some moves due to the Olympics. That's why I had to go to the Sci-Fi Network and other things. So the NXT is enjoying some time off. I have run into quite a few of them downtown here in Orlando, so they're probably down there enjoying Wine Down Wednesday. Well, tomorrow, that's what they'll be doing. Now, as far as this segment is concerned, I'm glad to see these four in the ring. I think they are very talented individuals. Do I find them all to be main event players? No, but they're talented individuals that know how to tell a story in that ring. Ridge Holland is a talent to look at. I'm not sure how far he's going to get. No one missed Ridge Holland. That was the only spoiler I got from NXT. And the only thing that was spoiled about it was the fact that means he's on my TV again. Not exactly a happy camper for that, but those are the thoughts of the executive consultant. What you got to say?
I have a few things I have to say. One, I didn't think he was a camper. Two, Ridge Holland. I mean, I see him. He's a big dude. Some people have compared him to, I don't want to say like but like kind of a Brock Lesnar, right? So he's a big dude. I get what I don't want to say concerns, but as you look at Ridge Holland, he's like, I don't know how far he's going to go. I agree. I don't know how far he's going to go, especially and it's funny too, because when he got hurt and I don't know if it was a match or brawl, but when he had that stuff with Oney Lorcan for a period, and maybe that's why they had Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch team up with the brand at that time. But
no, the only thing that was hurting when he was wrestling was my eyes from having to watch him. So I'm not exactly sure why
this is why I love working with this guy, because he just totally ran over. I see what kind of driver you are. You just interrupt people. Like, that was so good.
You're about to have a 5-minute rant on Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland's wife doesn't even have a 5-minute rant on Ridge Holland. So why are we
married? Oh my God, how'd you know?
It was probably the most boring wedding of all time.
You was invited.
I want to see where Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzalez feud is going, but I got a feeling that Dakota Kai is now heel and Raquel Gonzalez is a face. Yes, George Samuel Lewis.
We're gonna get there. I sometimes like they just jump right into the gun. We're gonna get there. We're gonna talk about it.
Well, what Steve does, he goes all over the place.
It's fine. So do I.
I don't even know what it is because when Ridge Holland comes in,
I never knew he had a theme.
I press mute.
Did he have a theme?
And I like, hold up. This is what I do when Ridge Holland is on my screen.
Hey, look at me. I'm so pretty.
And just like that, a lot of views went down. Marco Man X, what's going on? Welcome to Unpopular Review.
That's my friend.
Joseph
I know him.
Says,
That's Diesel. I'm sorry.
What else would happen on NXT, sir?
I feel like I'm going to be let go next. But there was a Hit Row promo.
Next,
but we're gonna just we're gonna jump right into Samoa Joe, who was very angry from last week. Last week, William Regal was laid out. He comes barging to the ring. He be walking with the Joe. He comes to the ring and he says, carry it, because he always yell. He's like a principal with more vocals, and he's yelling, and he talks about everything that happened last week. He had it up to here. He calls out William Regal. William Regal comes out, and he says, Regal, I need you to come out here. Regal comes out, and he has, I think, like 2 contracts. So one of them, he sit here and say, Regal, I am done being a part of management. He's washing his hands with it, but he wants signs as a full-time competitor, and which Regal is with. I mean, after the ass whooping Regal got last week, he's like, yeah. And even after he signed the contract and he did everything, he held the contract like this, almost like telling Joe, like, you better take care of that ass. Which, sounds very bad coming out my mouth. But I don't know. I mean, like, Samoa Joe, huh?
No, I'm answering the comments while you're talking.
Oh, well, don't, please. But, I mean, I thought it was a good segment. Samoa Joe was great on the mic. I think no one can sit here and ever question his mic work. He's always, you're shaking your head. No, I'm sorry. Do you have something to say? Of course you have something to say. Please tell me.
No, I'm letting you finish. I mean, polite.
No, but you started doing all this. But I want to know, okay, boom. Because I like to throw questions at people when I talk wrestling. What did you think of this segment? What do you think about Samoa Joe and his, I'm going to get rid of Karrion Kross, which looks like
that was your question? That was your question, reporter? That was your question, dirt sheet? It's like, he was like, here he goes. Yes, I like to throw questions when I'm doing this. So let me tell you my thought-provoking question. What did you think of this segment? That's not a thought-provoking question.
I didn't think you could do it. Good job.
I'm laughing because the obnoxious nonsense that you just asked me. But here's what I think of this segment. It should have been a taped episode. It should have been a taped episode. Now, you know what? I have a question. I have a thought-provoking question for you. You ready? This is not quiz mania, but I have a question. It's not quiz. Are you ready?
Oh,
what do you think was longer? What do you think was longer? Samoa Joe as an enforcer / manager, or Ronald P. Jackson as a host of Family Feud? What do you think was longer? I want to know.
Me as a Family Feud host. What are you talking about?
That's bullshit. Samoa Joe.
There's no cursing on this show, you jerk.
Samoa Joe was like manager or enforcer for like 3 weeks. We all knew he was coming back because he started getting Karrion Kross facing. You needed that end game. The end game is happening. Is Samoa Joe signing Karrion Kross's ticket to go to Raw permanently? And it should be Samoa Joe. I actually agree with that decision because Samoa Joe looks like he's believable when it comes to beating Karrion Kross. Where, hey, who else looks believable when it comes to beating Karrion Kross? Not a lot of people in NXT. Not a hell of a lot of people. So that's why I agree with that decision.
Let me ask you this.
It was good to not have Karrion Kross on. It was good William Regal said few of any words. I thought this segment was phenomenal. Very good and very good way to bring Samoa Joe back into fold. I just didn't think it should be taped, but still impactful. Welcome back, Samoa Joe. What were you going to ask, Chris?
Did you? No, I mean, I do want to ask you this. Like you mentioned on Karrion Kross, you said Samoa Joe is like the perfect person to face Karrion Kross, correct? But do you think his loss from last week, I don't know if we ever had this conversation, but do you feel like that ever derailed anything with Karrion Kross?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. Cool. Matt, I don't have the answer to that. I do not have the answer to that. But it definitely did not. And the reason how come it did not is because Karrion Kross, it was telling a story for having him lose to Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's believable to have him. Now, if he went out there and he lost to, say, Mansoor, yeah, be in an uproar. But Jeff Hardy's a former multi-time world champion. Yes, he's been taking a lot of L's over the last year, but he's still a multi-time world champion that's very popular. He just had his interesting back. And because he won, it gives him momentum for Karrion Kross to crush it. And that's all it was going to happen. Karrion Kross is going to crush Jeff Hardy. He's already done everything on NXT. And as I said last night on Monday Night Raw, shout out to my tag team partner on that show, which is Evil Dose. But as I said on Monday Night Raw, not that many people watch NXT. Yes, you're internet wrestling fans, all you nerds and hammer niggers at home. Yes, y'all watch NXT. However, the majority of people, when you look at the views, is like maybe less than half, if not more than half the viewers of Monday Night Raw and definitely SmackDown. So please understand that Karrion Kross, the victory that he did not get on Raw is not going to affect the amount of time that he has in NXT. Now, granted, this was a tape segment when he comes out next week and he has this interview, and they had to redo it because everybody kept chanting Hardy.
Oh, it wasn't this. It wasn't this week.
No, it was next week, and they kept chanting Hardy, 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 and that was the troll. So I get what the how some people will say that, but also understand that NXT is that hardcore wrestling based fans that I'm saying, and they never really liked Karrion. They never embraced Karrion like everybody else did, like they did everybody else, I should say. And the more I can talk about that is going to be in your NXT takeover in your house, and that is because when he wrestled those four wrestlers were over as hell, but they kept booing Karrion Kross, and it wasn't because they like to boo him, it was because they don't like him as much because he's not their style. Right. But Karrion Kross is a star on the main roster. He will be a star on the main roster. See what I say. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to run a commercial break. We'll be right back after this brief message from our sponsor, Mr. Mike Riggs. Fellas, what made Dakota Kai snap that her best friend Raquel Gonzalez, the WWE NXT Women's Champion? I mean, I know it's all part of the show, but I feel sorry for Dakota Kai. She's going to get her butt kicked by the WWE NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez. In my opinion, the best WWE NXT Women's Champion of all time in my book. Welcome back to Unpopular Review NXT edition. I am the exec consultant. Over there is Badguy Jack. You heard a word from our sponsor, Mr. Mike Riggs, telling you once again his opinions on Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, even though this man said we'll get to it later. Stop jumping ahead. But Mr. Mike Riggs is our sponsor. He puts money in our pocket. What can we say? Ruben Lopez says, I would honestly want Joe to go to Raw Tech Cross to get him to sign. Pink Rail Fan. This is Mikey. I'm sure it's about Shayna. Yes. I don't even have to look at it, but I'm going to. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. Already on the clip. Shay may not be on, but it's still Shay Day. Happy Shay Day, Jack from Apple Jacks and Chris Harris from the Denver Broncos. Wow, that was so original. Chris Harris, you are the nerd. Wow.
Listen, this is a family knitted show. Don't do that. I don't tell you how to run Raw. Stop that. Don't attack my fans.
Why do you have this guy calling me a nerd? Look, I've had
you wear glasses.
I have pieces of shit that's bigger than you, and you're going to sit here and call me a nerd? Look at you. Look at your hat. I don't know what you're wearing in place of a bow tie, and look at your shirt. If anybody's a nerd, look at you, right? And I won't even call you a nerd because that's insulting nerds. All right, you're not a nerd. You're not smart enough to be a nerd. Because you were smart enough to be a nerd, you would know not to challenge me. But you're dumb because you come on each one of these shows and all you do is troll.
Chris. Stop trolling.
What are you doing? Stop trolling, little punk.
What are you doing?
George Samuel Lewis. Karrion Kross will be a star, but it's going to take time. Karrion Kross will be a contender for the Royal Rumble. Mark my words. Pink says, nerd is a compliment. I don't care what anybody says, considering the fact, case in point. Ruben Lopez. What's the next thing to happen on NXT? And yes, you are an Undertaker wannabe. Undertaker's son.
Oh my God. I don't know what's going on. What show do you run again? You're on Raw, right? I can't wait to run on Raw and just like ramble a bunch of stuff because you just took over whole NXT. This is such a family knitted show, and
ladies and gentlemen, if you have not liked, loved, or shared this yet,
please do that.
Hit that button to like, love, and share this to all of your Wrestling Timelines groups. If you're watching us on Facebook, I have no idea why you have not liked the show yet.
See, look at that. I miss you. I miss you.
Shayna, let me tell you something.
Should be here.
Let me tell you something, darling. You can say that all you want in those little typing comments, but until you come on here and put me on my place, you ain't got shit to say to me. I'm running this thing. Matter of fact.
Why are you so loud? So let's talk about NXT before Chris just runs over everything and hates everything and then eats the Smurfs. So we have a segment with the LA Knight and Cameron Grimes, and I don't know why. Oh my God, it just seems similar to what the hell is going on right now, because I am Cameron Grimes and this dude right here is like LA Knight. They have this thing where LA Knight is golfing, and apparently he sucks at it. He stinks at it. He's doing all these things. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's so surprising, right? Like you think you're good at everything, but sometimes
speaking of stink, look at this guy. This is the ultimate stink right here. Bad guy.
Yeah, that's nasty. I don't want to be side
let me see if I can mimic.
I don't want to be side anybody. I don't like being a side.
My name is Badguy Jack. You on my side, buddy? I hope you are, because I have my own mom and dog on my side. Why do you sound
like he's shrinking uncontrollably?
Shrinking. Oh, see what he did? He's not on your side, buddy. George Samuel Lewis. Wait, Chris Harris and Karrion Kross going to win the Royal Rumble? No, I don't. I think he's going to be a contender.
Look,
stop being mean to my partner. Chris just acknowledged me.
See? Thank you.
Don't be mean to him.
See, I want her.
Are you pointing, Ron? Because your finger looks like your finger is the same size as your arm. Pink says, about to switch to Facebook just to say hi to Shay.
Same size as your stomach.
Mike Riggs, I miss you, Shayna. I'm never trusting you with him again. Well,
I miss you.
I'm not his babysitter. Charmaine says, hi, everyone. Hugs and kisses. Charmaine, make sure you like this video. Mikey
Why
says.
team up with Murdoch?
Mikey says. All right,
Why was that going on in my headset?
This
Shayna,
is
I miss you.
every
Don't ever take off
Tuesday.
again.
Every Tuesday when I'm watching the show, it's like you know what? And I know all the men are probably happy, but it's like Shayna, and probably women too. But it's like Shayna's pulling her pants down just so Mikey can kiss her ass the entire show.
Shayna asked what happened on NXT. You heard the captain. Stop disrespecting the captain. Captain, I miss you. But you stop doing that. Yeah, drink water, you big baby, you jerk. But what happened when it was an LA Knight segment? He was on air. And he was talking with this guy, Cameron Grimes. See, I'm sorry, you disturbed me. You distracted everything. You disrupt everything. You just that's all you do. Do you know that? I want you to understand that. But people came nuts to hear us argue. They want to hear our review on NXT. So Cameron Grimes, LA Knight. Cameron Grimes is trying to do the right thing because he sat here and he said, oh, no. Shayna lost me after that. I'm sorry. I see something Shayna wrote. But he sat here. He's golfing. He sucks at golfing. Eventually, as he's golfing,
no one knows the answer to that.
I'm sorry, that was Alexa. But
Alexa's probably telling you, like, hey, you can stop. Let's go ahead and read some of these comments.
Look,
Cameron Grimes is a diamond in the rough. How does Captain Shay get replaced with this guy? Ratings are going down. Only person know about going down is you. All right, Shayna says, what happened on NXT? This is the best episode. Queen Shay, what happened on NXT? Chris, King, L.A. Knight. L.A. Knight. And you see
know what makes me sad? Because she doesn't
do this, but DMD can no longer do this because her wrist is broke. Let's see. Yo, Almighty King Los Angeles Knight. I'm the King Shay. Remember that? You are Papa Smurf. Cameron Grimes is going to flip at the LA Knight. Just wait for it. You know what? LA Knight, Cameron Grimes, and $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase have a lot of chemistry. They're the most entertaining thing as far as NXT is concerned, as far as comedy. And I love every moment of it. LA Knight is also a future star. Cameron Grimes is low-key one of your most popular wrestlers in WWE.
Do you hold on? Let me ask you this. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but do you see the comparison between him and Daniel Bryan? Because a lot of people have compared him to Daniel Bryan 2012, 2013.
I think it's a possibility. Now, I'm not saying I see it, but I do see the similarities where it could go there if you play it right. Because Cameron Grimes, and I can tell you from being at the CWC, that it's so over. He's super over. People love him. They want to go to the moon. I only want to go to the moon when I'm in the orbit of Elvis. So I'm like, God, there's got to be somewhere I can get out of. But I am like, wow, you're really, really good. And you're solid in the ring. So with Dan Bryan, you're solid in the ring. So I can see why people saying that. I think it's a far-fetched, but I can see why people say that. I think Cameron Grimes, I think LA Knight, those two athletes are two of your up-and-comers.
If I can ask you, I don't mean to go all over the place, but LA Knight, do you see like, because eventually, a lot of these guys get called up to the main roster. Do you think that LA Knight is someone who can succeed on the main? Because like for me, I always have a problem with not even a problem, but I have a fear of a lot of these guys being called up to the main roster because there's guys that I look at and I'm like, these guys are great, but if they get called up to the main roster, they're not going to be treated a certain way that I would think that they should be treated. But do you think LA Knight is one of those guys who could?
LA Knight is definitely a contender for a United States Championship. Cameron Grimes, unfortunately, will have to work a little bit harder.
Right, I agree. Because LA Knight have that look.
He can make it. Yeah, LA Knight has that look. Cameron Grimes doesn't, but he can still make it. Like Daniel Bryan, you wouldn't think he can do it, but he can still make it. I always talk about Adam Cole, more on him later. Adam Cole, I think, can make it on the main roster, but he definitely doesn't have the look. He definitely doesn't have the body for it. So you think he's going to go there and and they're going to come back from commercial. He's going to be in the ring waiting for Karrion Kross to come out and destroy. But Adam Cole is going to be that guy. And the reason how come he's going to be that guy, when I say that guy, he's not going to be Roman Reigns. He's not going to be Drew McIntyre, but he's still going to be a contender up there because he knows how to make you believe it on the mic and in the ring. And that's what's going to count. And Cameron Grimes, I think, is almost on that level of Adam Cole. I see big things happening for Cameron Grimes. I'm hoping those things to happen for him because I'm a big fan of Cameron Grimes and LA Knight.
I can see you being a fan of LA Knight because y'all two are like very similar. So I could see it being like that's your guy. I just want to run through the LA Knight segment because like there was a thing where eventually LA Knight told him as he hit the golf ball in the water and Cameron Grimes went in the water to go get it, to which he gets a prep talk from the $1 Million Man. Yes, I wish Shay was here because she would laugh at my jokes. This guy is just ready to just.
It has to be funny. It has to be funny.
All right, no, you got to have a laugh box too.
For you, yes. You know what? And that's good. I remember I made a commercial one time when you were talking about a laugh box, and I agreed. You should have a laugh box because if you don't, nobody will get the joke.
Oh, yeah, look at the guy with the box head. But anyway, let's talk about Cameron Grimes and his segment. He had this segment. He had this moment with the $1 Million Man. The $1 Million Man sat here and said, "What are you doing, kid?" And he said, "Hey, what do you mean? Like, I thought you would want me to be a man of my word." He said, "Yeah, but eventually you got to, like, stand up for yourself." It was almost like this, like, it kind of reminded me of, like, this CW like moment where Cameron Grimes had to sit here and be like, he had like an epiphany and sit here and go like, yeah, I should totally stand up for myself. So you know that eventually we're gonna have this moment where Cameron Grimes, he's gonna stand up to LA Knight. I mean, we might get it at NXT 36, but we are at the 26 mark, and I feel like we're supposed to have been had a commercial. So hold on, bum. Let's make sure. A lot of these things are far from updated.
Otis is very talented. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's trying too hard.
Right.
And he could be a heel. He could be that monster. He has all the capabilities. He has a stature. But I don't need to see him being so stiff with every freaking thing he does. His walk.
Right.
After everything, he just always has to tower and stuff. And I know that I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I know that's Vince. Vince wants his powerhouses to act like powerhouses, act like monsters. I get that. But he's trying too hard. It does not feel natural. He can be the heel. He can be the enforcer. Chad Gable has enough charisma at this point. Shout out to Chad Gable, who just keeps improving year after year, in my opinion, and looking like that veteran. But he has enough charisma to make it work. But Otis needs to lighten up just a little bit. Not crack a smile necessarily, but he doesn't have to walk like he's just a robot. I compared him to Festus before, and he's still looking a lot like Festus to me.
That's a good accusation.
Hey guys, Carly Perez here, aka Katrina from Lucha Underground. I just want to give a shout out to the listeners of the Hammerlock Hangover, the Garden of Doom, and the viewers of Unpopular Review. I send you guys my wishes and kisses.
Hey, speaking of lighting up, you should lighten up too, EC. Hey, you're watching Unpopular Review, the NXT edition. I'm Badguy Jack. This is the executive captain. That is so disrespectful. You are the most disrespectful man in the world. There is no captain on Unpopular Review except Shay. Remove that, sir. But you're not going to do that because you are the boss.
Shay's not here.
I miss her every day. But we get Camelo Hayes against Josh Briggs. I mean, there was a lot of hype up videos about it. I'm a big fan of Camelo Hayes. I don't know how much you follow NXT, but do you have any for either two of these guys? I mean, I think this was the first appearance for Josh Briggs, 6'8". He comes from Arizona, nothing Arizona. Like, I was amazed that was actually a place. But do you have anything about these guys? I mean, any feeling or anything?
I definitely do. These two came out, and I remember I see this when I went to NXT Great American Bash or something like that, and I think it was Great American. I don't know, but I did have a feeling for these two.
He was at a show,
and that's what it is. Like, you know what? The breakout star thing is not interesting to me. It's not entertaining to me.
Was that supposed to be you?
Well, yeah, that's how I should have been while I was watching it. Because they put me to sleep. They put me to sleep. Look, let me explain something to you. I do think I agree with you. What's his name? Hayes, Carmelo Hayes. He's pretty good.
Yes.
The guy he's fighting next week. The guy he's fighting next week is actually pretty good too. They're the only two people I see entertaining. That's it. I know who's going to win. Spoiler alert. I'm not going to say who's going to win, so nobody else can know. But I do know who's scheduled to win that. But I would say these two are the best two. That's all I have to say on it.
Okay, so let's keep talking about it. But Camelo Hayes, yeah, I don't know. Was you throwing gang signs? But we had Camelo Hayes against
high to see superior.
Yo, see, I'll see you on Saturday, darling. So boom, Camelo Hayes against Josh Briggs. I mean, it was pretty much a big man against a little man match. Josh Briggs, I mean, he was the biggest dude. I honestly thought Duke Hudson was the biggest guy, but apparently I was wrong. It was Josh Briggs. This dude's 6'8". just demonstrating how big he is. I think WWE is gonna really like this dude. I mean, they love their big guys. If I'm wrong, correct me. But they really, really like their big guys. So I feel like he's gonna be around, even though he's not winning this. Obviously, just spoiler: Camelo Hayes get the win. I feel like they're gonna definitely do something with him. Yes, nothing Arizona, population 0. That was hilarious to me. Like when I heard that, and when I take notes, I try to be real quick with these things. But when I heard Arizona nothing, I said, that is incredible. Like that means no one lives there. It's like if there was a sitcom, it'd be probably one person. Camelo Hayes get the win. He's supposed to get the win. Wow. Oh my God. Look, he's smiling. I didn't think you could do that, Chris. Great job. So I think this segment, this match was really for Camelo Hayes. It was like a showcase to show what he can do. And Camelo Hayes should have gotten the win because, I look at Camelo Hayes. He was, and they point out these things. He went against Kushida and stood toe-to-toe with Kushida. He had that match with Adam Cole, to which he even pointed out, which was similar to what John Cena was June of 2002, where he slapped Kurt Angle in the face and he said ruthless aggression. And it was like, I don't know if he's going to win the whole thing. But it was, he got the win, and I thought he should have got the win. Let's say, let's say you, Chris. That's how they say it. Let's say you, Chris. They say, let's say you. But go ahead.
What's next with NXT?
He is so excited to be working with the bad guy. I'm so glad that he's here. You talked about Pocahontas in like an hour ago. How great was that? You guys got to check that out on UPRE, Unpopular Review Entertainment. Pocahontas. It's fun. It's great. Did you guys sing? Of course you didn't sing. No one.
Why would you sing with Pocahontas?
I wouldn't sing with Pocahontas either.
The movie is known for one song.
You know what's funny? When I was Googling, there was plenty of songs, but I agree. There's really one good song.
It's only Colors of the Wind. After Colors of the Wind, there's nothing.
What about Savages?
Wow, you sound like James. No, Savages was not good. The only thing savage about the movie is the fact that I had to watch it again. That was savage. I did not like that. I did not like Pocahontas. It was one of the worst ones of the Disney Renaissance. Please, let's.
Oh man, I can't wait to rewatch that. That's gonna be great. Frankie Monet, she has a promo that's interrupted by Kayden Carter and Kacy. I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names.
Catanzaro.
Yes. You know what's funny? When I was looking at the name, I saw there was Cat, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I'm gonna remember that name." I didn't. But let's go into the very next segment, and which was, I think was the, I don't want to say highlight of the show, but I think a lot of people are talking about this, and I could be wrong, but let's talk about it. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai comes out, and they make the claim like, Raquel has been dominant. She has been destroying everybody. She has beaten the best. Talked about her victory from beating Xia Li not that long ago, and
last week.
And as they're having this conversation and talking about it, Dakota Kai said, "This is my best friend. She has been killing it, and I'm proud of her." And all this stuff. And she raises her hand. She raises her hand and say, "Yay, we're best friends. And she's great. And I'm supportive." And then comes the boom. She hits her with a running big boot, laying out Raquel Gonzalez, and sit here and says, "I'm next in line." I do want to say a little something. So I knew about this a few days before. Spoilers, this is already taped, like the executive consultant pointed out. And there was something to me, like when this happened, I was kind of like, I kind of wish they stretched it out a little bit more, but maybe they stretched it as much as they could, but I kind of wish they stretched it out a little bit more. That looked like that's going to be the next match. That's going to be Raquel's next challenger for the championship, especially at NXT 36, which is August 22nd, which cheap plug, the day before my birthday. So I wanted to plug that in there. But Chris, the executive, the fifth Chris, what do you think about this? What do you think about anything?
The crowd cheered for Dakota Kai because let's just be serious. We know who's producing this. It's Shawn Michaels. This was one of the closest things you could have to the Shawn Michaels Diesel debacle that happened in '94. Was Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Yeah. Now they tried with a few other duos in the past decade or so, but this is the closest one they've had. And another reason why they cheered is I didn't see it coming. I really didn't. I knew eventually it was going to happen. That was obvious. It was eventually going to happen, but I didn't see it coming right now. But when you think about it, who's left? When I thought who was possibly going to take the title off of Raquel Gonzalez, there was only one person came to mind for me, and that was Lee. She lost. So who's really next? Go ahead and pull the trigger. And that's how it felt. It felt like Dakota Kai was HBK and Raquel Gonzalez Diesel, and she pulled the trigger on Diesel. And it was very well done. That's the second time Dakota Kai has done a surprise kick out of nowhere that has people talking. So good job to her. Once again, this was a taped episode, so I'm surprised they pulled it on a taped episode so people like this guy here can get spoiled. Luckily, I wasn't the one that got spoiled. So when I saw it, I was actually legitimately shocked. I was like, okay, cool. Good job to you, NXT. You shocked me. So it was a couple times tonight you actually did something I was surprised you did. So very good episode, a very good segment by Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. They sold it very well. I know they're very good friends. Friends make the best matches. They're going to kill it in the ring at NXT TakeOver day before your birthday. It's NXT TakeOver 22?
36.
But it's on the 22nd of August.
Yes.
It's the day after SummerSlam. Okay, it's the day after SummerSlam. That's why it's
Sunday.
That's why it's going to be at the Performance Center. Okay, I was wondering why they didn't go back to the arena. That's why it's going to be at the Performance Center. Okay, it makes sense to me now. Gotcha.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how you feel about wrestling, like storylines and stuff like that. But do you feel like it could have been stretched out a little bit more, or do you feel like this was the perfect time?
No, I think WWE wrestling in general, I should say, wrestling in general should always be about surprises. Should be about shock. People get on WWE and AEW to a certain extent, because it's hard because they feel like they don't get shocked anymore. They don't feel like anything can happen like they did back in the 90s. But the thing is, what do we have now that we didn't have in the 90s? Yeah, they had the internet in the 90s, but not like they do now.
Not like this. Yes.
Everything is just so instant. You find out, everybody wants to know. I know we get on many arguments in the UPR chat room because people are like, I don't get spoiled. I want to get spoiled. I want to get spoiled. This is news. It's not news and stuff like that.
Right.
Why in the world do you think are you giving this flack to all these people when you know it's so hard to keep everybody in the blind? Unless you're going to turn off your phone and only use it for phone calls and texts, and you still can't even necessarily do it with that, and you don't get on social media or anything, you're going to find out something. So when WWE or AEW pulls something off that's a surprise, give them credit. Give them praise. That's what I'm doing with the Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez. I didn't see it coming. I know we can predict almost anything in wrestling. Not every time, but I don't want to overstep my boundaries here. But I usually do a pretty good job of predicting something that's going to happen. I didn't see this was going to happen right now. So what happened? I'm giving it praise. It deserved it. You shocked me. You got one over on me. The Goldberg, when he showed up against Bobby Lashley, we all knew that was going to happen. I still found it a little bit exciting, even though I don't really want to see it. But I still found it a little bit exciting, but it wasn't shock. When John Cena came back in Money in the Bank, we knew what the goal was, John Cena and Roman Reigns, but I didn't know he was going to make an appearance at Money in the Bank after a phenomenal match between Roman Reigns and Edge. That was good. I said, and then we'll move on.
Yes.
Keep going. Edge had two major comebacks. He had one at Royal Rumble 2020. I'm talking about 2020. I'm talking about recently. I know about the one in 2010. And honestly, I knew that was happening. It just made all the sense. You mean
2020?
2010, I knew was going to happen. When that happened, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to be him and Jericho. It just made all the sense in the world. But Edge 2020 was a bit of a surprise.
Yes.
But when Edge came back on SmackDown a month or so ago against Roman, when Roman was in the ring and all that, and all of a sudden you heard, you think you know me, that shocked me more than 2020. There were rumors all day that Edge was probably going to show up at the Royal Rumble. Now, I wasn't completely sure because I wasn't sure if he was actually healed, but when I heard his music, okay, he's here. But I knew. Edge coming on SmackDown, no clue he was going to be there. So that what I appreciated more because I knew he was going to show back up, but I thought he was going to show up in front of a live crowd, not the Thunderdome, and I thought it was going to be in preparation for SummerSlam, not Money in the Bank. So I was actually more excited to see Edge. Always give WWE and AEW, like when Malachi Black approach came out of nowhere, always give any wrestling organization praise instead of hating all the time like we do. Always get, I will hate anytime you put Rich Holland on my screen, but always get wrestling organizations praise when they do something that surprises you. If they put the title on somebody or anything. I didn't like Nikki Ash winning the Raw Women's Championship, but I appreciate the fact that they did something to shock me. Don't think it was a good move, but give them praise. Stop hating all the freaking time. That's what you Hammerniggers do all the time. Hate. Ruben Lopez says, you're right, Chris. They even mentioned Big Mommy Cool. George Lewis says, I think that they're going to do the same thing for Becky Lynch. When she returns, it's going to be a shock. Becky Lynch is ready to go. Spoiler. Becky Lynch is ready to go. She can appear anytime. They're holding it off because they want the shock factor. They want you when you're not going to expect it. So y'all sitting here chanting Becky, 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 Becky. They saying, okay, we're going to wait another week because we want to savor the moment. It's the same thing with John Cena and Roman Reigns. You're building the story to when they two finally see each other on television, not house show, not after the thing, on television. Appreciate what WWE is trying to do. Dirt Sheets and Spoilers ruin the hell out of wrestling. To be honest, that is 100% facts. I cannot stand it. That's why we review and we don't really spoil. Swerve winning the title was a surprise to me. Good job, Damian Jones. We'll talk about Swerve in a minute, but that was also a surprise. I gave it credit. For
yeah, that was a huge surprise. I agree.
Yeah, because he beat a huge man. What else happened on NXT?
I see what you did there. That was great. And I'm supposed to be the king of corn, but you're running the field, man. But we have Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden against Frankie Monet and oh god, I didn't even write her name, but Jessie. And I was actually surprised by this. Like, you talked about surprises and stuff like that. I was surprised because with Frankie Monet taking over the Robert Stone brand, I sat here and said, oh, okay, this is going to be a total change now. Like, she's running the brand. She's leading the brand. She's going to be she's going to take charge, and it's almost like this is like the rebuild up. Wrong. It's like almost like no matter if Robert Stone's name is connected to it, stuff is going to fail. So Kacy and Kayden get the win here. I mean, they get the big win. I figured which one of the ladies pinned, but they pinned Frankie Monet, and I was surprised. Not to say like, oh, she was going to be unbeaten for this long period of time, but I was just really surprised by that. I was like, wow, they really had these girls pin Frankie. I don't know. I was surprised by it.
I'm not surprised. Frankie Monet's not working. I was like, so they went on a limb and they got Frankie Monet probably out of favor for John Morrison, which everybody knows is her husband. She didn't spend a lot of time in Performance Center. I mean, she's in the Performance Center, but she came right to TV. Now, that being said, has she made as big as impact as they wanted her to when they first gave her the first couple of weeks? No, she's not. She's not hitting like they thought she would. So they're taking a step back. They gave her that so they can still keep her on TV and get their money's worth, but they really are taking a step back on Frankie Monet. They're building her a little bit more slowly because she's not making that impact. Chris reminds me of the old Vince McMahon who used to sit at the commentator's table calling matches back in the day. All next week, we celebrate my birthday week. I will celebrate your birthday after you leave. And I'll clean that up on what I originally was going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a small commercial break. We'll be right back after this brief message.
Of course. Do you agree with me, going backwards a little bit, that when Naomi came out for her entrance, that was the slowest and least energetic I've ever seen her do her entryway dance?
I don't know. I barely paid attention. I don't really care. I mean, Naomi, it's a cool entrance. I mean, I've seen it a million times, though. It's like, okay.
Well, I barely pay attention. The only reason I paid attention was like, she's barely moving. So then I did pay attention. And it generally is a cool. I'll check it out again and let me know what you think, or let everyone know what you think, because she looked particularly sluggish. I don't think she's happy about this whole storyline thing.
I don't think anybody would go out there dancing because, they'll be like, oh, yeah, better take an L to do drop again.
That's her job 8 out of 10 times.
Whatever. But getting into
that's her job, literally 80% of her work.
Oh, we're back on air. Hey, bad guy, the executive consultant. We're talking NXT. We're a functioning unit, I think. I just want to make sure this camera's over. I hate marks. Wow. What if that's their name?
Yes.
They can't help it.
Mark wins.
Yeah, and I think that's what surprised me because, like, I know eventually she was going to lose. I mean, it happens. You can't win them all, right? But just her losing that match, I just thought that was a nothing match for her to lose. but maybe there's a story involved there because even after,
exactly,
she goes after Robert Stone. So like, there's a
there
story.
is a story
there.
involved. It's called
Yes.
Robert Stone. We wish you the best on your future endeavors.
Okay. I'm sorry, I just read something. It was funny. There's this interview with Malcolm Bivens and Roderick Strong, and he's being interviewed by Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett is asking the questions. He's saying, "Hey, you know, after the Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong took a leave of absence. He left. He pretty much signed his resignation papers. He quit. He left, and he went away." And Roderick says, "Oh yeah, but I got a call from Bivens, and he pointed out like I'm the best. I should be here." To which brought him back. To which Bivens said, "Yeah, he's not a number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2. He's number 1." To which I say Roddy. I've always said Roddy is great in the ring. Mic wise, he's never been strong, but mic wise, I thought he's always been pretty decent. I mean, I'm sorry, mic wise, he's never been good, but in the ring, he's been. I don't even know what I'm saying, but in the ring wise, he's always been pretty decent. To which, and I took quick notes of this. I want to make sure I have this thing in here before, because the next segment I do want to point out this thing, but not Malcolm, but Wade talks about Bobby Fish. He says, "Hey, what's this thing with you and Bobby Fish?" He asks about, you know, is there going to be a finish to this? To which Malcolm Bivens sits here and says, like, "Yeah, do you like money?" Which is the best question to ever ask anyone, because I feel like most people are always going to say, like, "Yeah, I like money. Of course, I dig money. It's cool." So he says, Malcolm Bivens says, "Yeah, if you don't like money, you're either lying or what do you say? He's a bum or something like that." It was not a nice thing to say. To which Roderick says, like, "Next week, me and Bobby are Bob," he didn't even call him Bobby, Bob, we're gonna have a match, and after that we're done. So it looked like next week Roderick Strong against Bobby Fish. And we get Imperium against Hit Row. I want to make sure I got this before I go in here, because Imperium, I hope no one erased it. It's not here. I'm so disappointed. It's not here. Whatever. I can't do this. But we got Imperium against Hit Row. I made sure to get the name. Marcel Botar and Fabian Archer against the Adonis and Top Dollar. Hit Row is like really the baby face. They're really baby facing up. And it's funny because not that long ago they were heels, but everyone is really feeling them. Are you feeling Hit Row, EC? I heard heavy briefing.
I was at first. Then I went to NXT, I think it was Great American Bash, and they had a concert-like segment, and their stock dropped a lot. They try too hard for me sometimes. Not like Otis, what I said, but they're trying too hard. Even today, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way when they came out. So they come out and they're doing this swag thing like constantly, and then Swerve. I'm trying to figure out how to say this without sounding racist, but this Swerve comes out, and he's doing these signs, and I'm like, I know how Swerve is. You're trying too hard. Maybe it's because I know how he is outside, so it just bothers me a little bit. But
do you think it didn't feel organic?
You're right. It's not authentic. But you know what? He's portraying a character, and Swerve is so talented. And Top Dollar is actually a lot better than you would give him credit for. Brianna Brandy, I can't remember.
He was so great.
He was.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
actually, all of them are great. Brianna Brandy needs some work in the ring, but she does her job very well. So actually, as a whole, I do like Hit Row. It's just there's something about them I wish they would tone down just a tad. But it's their character, it's their gimmick. So I just need to get back into them. But I am a fan of Hit Row, but I'm also a fan of Imperium. And I don't like seeing them put on the back burner like this. And I feel like every time Walter's not there, you kind of forget about them.
I wanted to say this because it's really cool that you say like you like Imperium because I think they're really a good tag team. A lot of people don't like them, I guess, because of their style. But I do want to say this because for the longest time, and I saw the picture and it's here. So boom, for the longest time when I've been talking about Imperium, I always say, "Oh, and the guy," and I know I made sure to make the note because I want to be sure. But Fabian Archer, I know I'm saying his name wrong. I say he looked like Buzz Lightyear. I have picture and proof, and I need to know: does this guy look like Buzz Lightyear to you?
Fabian Eichner.
Yes.
Looks like Buzz Lightyear. This is a big guy, mind you. I actually seen him in person. Like at the club.
I'm pretty sure he could rip me in half. I mean, if you've seen this, I know he could rip me in half.
So it's Parter, but Buzz, I can't disagree.
Unbelievable. Is a bootleg Death Row. Death Row. I love them. I think they're great, and I like that I feel like they only turned babyface because of the they're going against Santos and his boys, so they turned face. But I think they're great. I do like them, and I think Adonis. I think Swerve is great. I always thought Swerve was really, really great. It was something about him. He needed a switch. He turned heel, and I feel like he found his rhythm. But Adonis, I was watching him in this match. I mean, him and Top Dollar, and Top Dollar is great too. I'm not sleeping on Top Dollar, but Adonis, I was looking at this guy. For one, we have the same hairstyle. Hello, and I was like, this guy's he's to me, he seemed like the more athletic guy in the group. I could be wrong because I think Swerve is great too.
Outside Swerve.
But Adonis,
outside Swerve. Swerve's very athletic.
Yes, but it was something about him, especially because Swerve is going to be the single guy, right? But then you got the tag team of Top Dollar and Adonis. So Adonis is going to always make up for, the speed and agility. He's going to be the athletic guy. So it was something about him. I was watching the match. And there's something I was like, man, this guy is really good because I know he's been on 205 Live, but I'll be the first to admit I do not watch 205 Live. I don't sit here and watch that.
Shame on you.
Oh my God, I'm not a fan. Oh no. But I'm sitting there and watching him go, and I'm like, man, this guy's really good. And Top Dollar was really good. He did this impressive, like when him and Fabian was in the ring. I mean, I miss Leon Ruff too. Like, where's the rough man? But he did this like giant elbow drop, and I said, oh man, like wrestling is about trust, but I think I would have moved. When he jumped in the air, that's a big boy. This match was really nothing. And Imperium get the win. It doesn't hurt Hit Row's. You don't hit their momentum. I don't think it hurts them at all because I feel like they have a lot of momentum. I feel like that CWC, they're really filling them. So I don't think it does anything to make them like, man, they lost. Oh, man, they're getting buried and all that stuff. I don't believe any of that. I believe that they'll be just fine. Imperium is getting this win. Imperium, to me, is like the next in line for the NXT championship at that. So, yeah, Imperium gets the win. Do you have any follow-ups?
No, I just need to see Imperium be a dominant team, in my opinion, again. But it's the whole Nation versus Los Boricuas 2021 vibe I'm getting right now. I have to wait and see if I'm going to actually like it. I do like, what's his name? The former
Really? Why so, George? Because they're both black. Because I don't think Street Profit. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. I love George Samuel Lewis's comments. I love it. He's been a fan since the beginning. I always love his comments because he always states the obvious. I think that Zoe Stark and Io Shirai to break up and lose the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. Yes, of course. That's what's going to happen.
There's a story there. Yeah, there's
Adonis and Top Dollar remind me. The thing is, the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship has been bouncing around so much. You don't know what makeshift tag team is going to win it in a couple weeks. So.
I admit, and the thing is with the NXT Women's Championship, I did give them a lot of praise. I felt like there was a lot more prestige to it, but I also mentioned we're in the beginning stages. So, my love for it was because I felt like there's going to be a lot more. I feel like the thing with NXT, and just personally for me as a guy who watched NXT, I felt like they made these championships feel important. Like long title reigns, long, and there's certain things. Oh my God, what is going on? I don't even know what's happening, but I feel like there's certain things that they would not fall into the same traps that the main roster is. So that's why I was like, oh man, I like how they make these titles feel, because I feel like when you win the championship, it should feel important. That's something that we grew up with. And anytime I talk with any younger wrestling fan, I'm like, man, I remember when there was these title reigns and it felt special. And I feel like NXT have done a great job about that, but I can see what you mean by the NXT Women's Championship, Tag Team Championship. I apologize. Where who's going to take it off? But I feel like there's a story here with Io and I apologize. We should mention that. Hey, if you guys are watching, like, love, and share. If you're watching on Facebook, give us a reaction. If you're on YouTube, like it, love it. I mean, if you don't agree with us, give us a thumbs down. Give us some reaction. Let us know what you're feeling. Comment. Let us know. And if you're on Twitch and everywhere else, please let us know how you're feeling about this product of this wrestling product. But I do feel like there's definitely a story with Io, and it's going to be with Io and Zoe. And it's like, what's going to happen? My thing was, I always wanted, but it's not going to happen at this point because she got beat. But and I feel like so quickly too. Xia Li, I said Xia Li should get rid of Io, and that was my story, but that's not happening at this point. So it looked like it's going to be Zoe against Io. They dropped the titles, but to whom, I don't know. We have to wait and see. But let's get into the next segment here. It's a not even a promo, but we have a segment. There we go, segment. We have The Way, to which Johnny Gargano, his wife Candice, because everyone's waiting for me to mess that up, Candice LeRae, and their, I guess, their daughter, Indy Hartwell, they're sitting there, they're all talking. They said, Where's Austin Theory? Where did he go? I know it looked like the main roster, and you might want to grab your kid back because, oh boy. So they can't find him. Indy gets this gift. She opens it up. It's this artwork from Dexter Lumis, which is great. It's really, I mean, the guy's an artist. He is so good. The executive, I'm not going to call you captain because you're not the captain, but the executive consultant. Can you draw? I agree. I'm on fire tonight. I should have had whiskey, but she gets this gift. He drew this gift where he's a part of the family, and she's so happy. She's so in love. She said, "Look at this. He cares about me. He loves me." To which Papa John sits there and goes like, "No, I've never allowed him in my family. He's not allowed in here." To which Indy says, "Well, why don't you fight for it? Why don't you sit here and go? If Dexter wins, you got to give him a chance." To which Johnny says, "Sure, whatever." I think he was against it, and he was like, "All right, but cool." But Candice sit here and goes, "Okay, cool. All right, bet. But if Johnny wins, this is done. No more of that." I like the stuff with The Way. It's funny. It's cheap humor. As you can tell, as I'm smiling and stuff, cheap humor makes me laugh. I can't help it. That's the kind of stuff I provide on this show. So I thought it was funny and stuff like that. And it looks like there's going to be a match. I don't think they announced it, but it looked like it might be for next week. And he's shaking his head. Yes. I mean, you're letting me do the one-man show. I mean, where was this in the beginning? But
They announced it. I'm agreeing with you. They announced it for next week.
No, but I want to hear what you think about this segment. I like that.
I mean, it was entertaining. I wanted to end, so hopefully it will be some movement next week. But I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. The Way are entertaining, you know. But you know what? How about you say you don't watch 205 Live, and I've been getting a lot of heat. People have been sending me death threats. They've been stalking me and stuff like that because I made a comment the other day, and I was like, "Hey, Johnny Gargano, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, all these people can make 205 Live a premier brand. And people looked at me like I was crazy. Why would I say something like that? Do you look all these small fries that are super popular that can make 205 Live just as fun as NXT, AEW, SmackDown, Raw? You disagree?
No, I mean, I think my only thing with 205 Live, right? So this is my only thing. I would hate for these guys to be just that, because these guys can be more to me.
What are you talking about? Put them. They have their own show. All the small
but
fries.
no one watches. There's no eyes on 205
because
Live,
there's no
dude.
star on 205 Live. Name 3 wrestlers on 205 Live.
I can't because I don't watch it.
But you would if Darby
I'll
Allin,
be honest.
Sammy
Hold on,
Guevara.
wait. I want to say this. I forget the guy's name, and I apologize, but he's in the Breakout tournament. No, matter of fact, it's Odyssey. And I remember because I follow the Instagram, and it was like Odyssey won a match on 205 Live. And I'm like, 205 Live seemed like it's a whole nother, because you know that dude is not no 205. So I'm just saying 205. I mean, I think the biggest thing is they don't want to be, and I apologize because I can't think of the exact word on the top of my head, but they just don't want to be just cruiserweights. I think that's why even Neville left. I mean, he left because they just put him on, and I think this was even before they even had the 205 show, but he just didn't want to be a cruiserweight. I get what you're saying. I think Johnny Gargano, you said Darby Allin. There was another name you mentioned.
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara, Orange Cassidy. There's a lot of names. Those names I sit here and go like, man, that would be fun. But I also want to see these guys. You grew up in the 90s. You're a few years older than me. But was there cruiserweights that you saw and you was kind of like, man, if they were in the heavyweight division, that could be fun?
No.
No?
But also understand,
all right.
when you grew up in the 90s, the cruiserweight division was 225 pounds and less, not 205.
No, and I understand that. No. I get what you're saying. It was a different time and the weights were different. I understand that.
And look what they're doing now.
What
they're doing now. That's why they don't belong. All right. Cedric Alexander is a great talent.
Yes.
When you put him in the ring with Bobby Lashley, what happened on Monday is what happens. Mustafa Ali is a great talent, but you put him in the ring with Brock Lesnar and you'll see what happens. Like, this is why they need their own show. They want to showcase their talent. Go on 205 Live, make that a main roster show by having so much talent on there. But you put Sammy Guevara in WWE and have him against your tribal chief? No, I can't hear you. It's the best way for you to be on the show. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us here in Unpopular Review. Make sure that you like, love, and share this to all of your wrestling timelines and groups. Maybe if you like it, we can make some, or you subscribe to us on YouTube. We can make some money, and then we can actually fix Badguy Jack's equipment right now. No, we can't hear you because his equipment is awful. Look at those headphones. Oh, this is sad. This is very sad. But anyway, that's my opinion on that. And my opinion on the way is I think they're entertaining, but I mean, there's only so much you can do on NXT. Unless you're going to make it a third solid brand. They can go over to 205 Live and get in 205 Live the same direction as NXT. As soon as I can hear you, I'll let you know right now. I'm telling you right now, I cannot hear you, Badguy Jack. Jack's mics broke like Queens Boulevard line train corridor the other day. You know, you're the only person that would know that joke because you're the only person that pays attention to trains like that. It's kind of weird, bro. Kind of weird. All right. I don't know what the next segment of NXT was. I'm not leading the show. Can you do your job?
I'm sorry, I knocked my headset off by accident. My apologies. I'm here.
You sure the ghost of Christmas passed in and say stop talking? And
I didn't even think you had a ghost. I wasn't even paying you any attention. My apologies. I was like, you was talking, and you was doing a great job. I didn't even hear what you were saying. I didn't even realize. I was like, oh man, I don't even know what happened. But you was talking a bunch of stuff. I like to hear what you were saying as I cut my headphone off. You said
something about like, love, and share.
I don't believe it. I think there was a lot more to that, but that's fine. But we get to the main event because we are getting there. Oh, look, my mic broke. Like, oh, okay. We get Adam Cole, baby, against Bronson Reed. Adam Cole, I think you was talking about cruiserweights. Would he have been in? Yep. I think he would have been a star too. I think he would have been a star too.
I just named a whole bunch of people who can make 205 Live relevant again.
And now I had to listen back on which you guys can do too. If you guys are watching, you can watch this on the archives. And I'll watch it because I want to hear what you was talking about. But we got Adam Cole against Bronson Reed. I mean, I honestly thought Bronson Reed was going to get the win. But to me, just to sum it all up, I think this was Bronson Reed's swan song. I feel like he's next in line. I mean, if you remember from, I feel like it was a month ago when you have Karrion Kross, who was on main event, and Bronson Reed as well, and he was the North American champion at the time, if I'm right. I think that this is his swan song. I mean, he loses to Adam Cole. Adam Cole gets attacked by Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly is, that feud is not done. I was moving around a little bit. I was prepping for the show. I was trying to, whatnot. And Adam Cole getting the win. I was watching it with my nephews, and we were watching a little bit of it. As I was watching, I just kind of laughed because I was like, Bronson Reed, this big dude and whatnot, and Adam Cole beats him, and he beats him clean too. Adam Cole proves that he's one of the best. I mean, you mentioned earlier there was something you wanted to mention about Adam Cole and the main roster, where if he ever gets called down to the main roster. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. You're muted, sir. You're muted, sir.
First of all, you have Brodus Clay versus Adam Cole, right? And
the
Brodus,
big bro. Yeah,
and Brodus loses to Adam Cole, setting up for Brodus Clay to get called over to. I think he's going to SmackDown. All right, fine. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. I'm not going to say anything to it. I don't think Brodus Clay is really good talent to be on the main roster, but we'll see. He might surprise me.
He's the main event player.
Here's my problem with the main event. Besides the fact that it was a terrible main event.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole is a heel. Get these NXT losers cheer him all the time. Kyle O'Reilly is your face. Yet they boo him now all of a sudden because they love Adam Cole so much.
You've never been booed?
Who?
You.
Oh, I've been booed all the time. Now, George Samuel Lewis here says the ending when Kyle O'Reilly attacked was setting up for TakeOver, and I think Kyle won. Yes, you know why? Because even though he's been trying to avoid it, because I think he has, or Triple H has, Adam Cole is getting called up to the main roster. It's happening. It's time.
I'm connected to RPJ's iPhone.
There's nothing more Adam Cole can do in NXT. He's stale. Let him go and have a change of scenery. Monday Night Raw is that change of scenery. He will be fine. Now, you clowns might be upset because y'all might want him to be main event of WrestleMania, but he's not main event WrestleMania right now. He's there to be Drew McIntyre's next feud. And after he gets kicked in the face, he'll fight some other mid-card talent. But he will... I'm sorry, is there a crowd there that's looking at you lift a weight?
Oh, you are so stank.
Now, Adam Cole, right, will be fine, but he needs to go up. Let this last match with Kyle O'Reilly be it, please. Be it. Be done. Finito.
No, I agree. I think this got to be the last one. I do think Adam Cole get called up. I think Kyle, he still got some stuff to do in NXT. I think he eventually gets the title. I think he's going to be the I don't want to say the next because I feel like it's Joe, but I feel like Kyle is going to be one of those NXT champion. And I think he'll be, I want to believe that, dude. Like, I totally want to believe that he's going to be fine on the main roster, but I just don't trust him enough because I feel like there's this quote going on online. And Road Dogg said one time, and he's a producer on, I forget which show, it's Raw or SmackDown. I think it's SmackDown. And he said...
NXT.
Okay, fine, NXT. Thank you. Thank you for that correction. But he said if Adam Cole was a little taller and I think maybe he had a little bit more weight, he'd be a champion, a world champion on the main roster. So that's my biggest concern because I know a lot of these guys are not big. So... And I don't know. I've never cared about big dudes. I never cared about that stuff. I've sat there and said, I loved work rate. If the guy could perform in a certain level that made me go like, man, this is great. Like Brett, and granted, sometimes I mention Brett and they go like, yeah, but Brett was bigger than these guys, So I get concerned about what these guys are going to do. And even
Adam Cole can put on weight. That's my problem with Adam Cole. Adam Cole refuses to put on weight, but the man does not look like he's intimidating. He doesn't look like he's in shape. Now, at least Kyle O'Reilly, who's also small fry, looks like he goes to a gym, right? Adam Cole doesn't. That's my problem with Adam Cole. If you're going to make it on the main roster, you're going to make it on SmackDown. If you're going to make it on Raw, you need to at least look. I referenced the old. You talked about the cruiserweights back from the day in the 90s.
Yes, sir.
Now, here's some cruiserweight. Here's a fun fact. A lot of former cruiserweight champions are future world champions. Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, to name a few. Now, here's the thing. If you look at them back then in the 90s when they were in cruiserweight, and you look at them when they won world championships, they bulked up.
Even Jericho?
I
don't think.
Look at Jericho when he wrestled as a cruiserweight in WCW, and look at him when he won his world championship, his real run back in 2008 and stuff like that, 2009. He bulked.
He bulked up years later, but I get what you're saying. Right.
No, Eddie Guerrero bulked up. Eddie Guerrero was actually pretty large by around the time he passed away. Right?
No, he did. He was a lot bigger. No, he was a lot bigger than he was in the 90s. I agree.
Rey Mysterio also got bigger. Rey Mysterio also got bigger, but he can only get but so big. Let's just be real.
Right.
But he also got bigger.
Right.
I said Ricochet was going to put on some weight so he can get up there, and he did. He gained like 10 pounds.
How much is Ricochet?
Right now he's 207. He's billed as 207.
Oh, so he's not too. Oh, he could be a cruiserweight if he just dropped. Oh,
he could drop, but he's up there. If Adam Cole wants to make a real run for it, he's still gonna be fine. But if he wants to make a real run for it, he has to bulk up a little bit. Add some weight, tone it up.
Do you think him bulking up, right? So I'm using this comparison, and it might be far off, but I'm going to use this anyway. You remember when CM Punk first came in 2006, correct? He was big. They say like almost like a balloon because he looked kind of puffy, but he dropped that weight. But you think that's the kind of weight, maybe not that kind of weight, but you saying do something like that, put on some pounds just to.
Don't expect Adam Cole to be a bodybuilder, but just put on some weight.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Make him seem like a little bit of a threat. Right now, he just seems like an average Joe. If you didn't know he was Adam Cole, baby, right, as a wrestling fan, but you're walking down the street, this guy steps to you, like, who the fuck is this guy? Get out my face. Who's this little punk? Like, get out my face. You're nothing. You're a little small fry. Well, me anyway, because I'm 240. But like, what are you doing?
Me too.
Get out of. I said 2. You said 1. But get out my face. So that's the problem I had with Adam Cole, and that's why I think Adam Cole needs to gain some weight. Gain some weight, right? Maybe you two can go to the gym and gain 10 pounds, and then maybe you'll actually be labeled as a real man. I did a push-up
this morning.
Oh.
What did you do this morning?
I did push-ups. I did 30 push-ups this morning, as well as 100 sit-ups.
Okay, you don't have to lie to our viewers. Now
I'm not.
Okay.
Go ahead, next.
What do you mean next? That was our show, bro. Like, that was pretty much it.
What are your thoughts on WWE trying to start the Queen of the Ring?
I mean, I think my thing about it, it's cool because it's a different concept. I mean, I guess I gotta see what the bracket looks like and see what we're going with. But sure, why not? Why not? I like women wrestling, so I'm with it. But I'd like to see what the bracket looks like. What about you, executive consultant?
I am fine with it, except for it's just to get Charlotte some other title, really.
I hope not, because I feel like a lot of people at this point.
But the thing is, the Queen title is pushed around 2 more. Charlotte calls herself the Queen. You have the Queen of Spades. Natty calls herself the Queen of Hearts. Are we going to have yet another Queen something? So it needs to just go straight to Charlotte, in my opinion. I'd rather than bring back the Mae Young Classic.
Do it really have to? Charlotte has pretty much done everything except win Money in the Bank, right? That's probably the only thing she hasn't done. She has done everything, including beating the Avengers. She do not need this other title. She just don't.
Which is why I would have to vote not to have Queen of the Ring.
I don't know who wins it. I would love to see the bracket so I can have a better idea, but she just doesn't need it. She's at this point, she's in a whole nother atmosphere, if you ask me. You know, sometimes when I talk about Charlotte and we talk about Charlotte, me and a few of her friends, there's always this argument like, oh, they're doing everything. And I'm like, the only problem with Charlotte is they over push her. But other than that, in ring, Mike, she's great. But let's be real, we're all just tired of her. We're just tired of
I don't see how you can be tired of her. She took 6 months off last year. She took about a month and a half off this year. There's nothing really to be tired for. Now, they say she's always in the women's title picture. But realistically speaking, she hasn't been outside of this just now. She hasn't been in the Raw or SmackDown women's title picture in a year and a half.
And that's a fair point. I'm glad you pointed that out, but I think people are just so. She pointed this out, and it made me kind of think. I try to think, and I try to be fair. So she pointed out, like, okay, I main evented a pay-per-view. I'm not supposed to want more, and she should want more. She should want to do these things. And
I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that. She's main evented multiple pay-per-views. She main evented WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. She's main evented TLC twice. Like she's co-main evented Evolution. Like she's main evented multiple Raws. Where did she? But even though you say co, that's still not the main event. I get what you're saying. She's main evented multiple pay-per-views. Right. She said one. That's inaccurate. She's main evented multiple pay-per-views. She is the star of the women's division. More so than Becky, more so than not more so than Becky, but more so than Bianca Belair, more so possibly Sasha. You can make an argument with Becky. You can make an argument with Becky. Can make more of an argument than Sasha, but Becky's has been around in a year, and Sasha did a phenomenal job in the last year.
She is.
So is Bayley.
Yes.
I think Bayley's not so much the star, but I think Bayley's taking over as locker room leader, if anything. So I have to give Bayley credit for that. But I mean, Charlotte, but on Raw, she could take a step back. But I mentioned this yesterday. The problem is Charlotte doesn't get along with a lot of women.
She don't get along.
She don't get along with a lot of women. She will respect them to do business with them, but at the same time, if you pay attention, you can tell who she likes by being in the ring with. One, she'll wrestle them over and over and over again. That's what Charlotte does. That's not WWE's choice. That's Charlotte's choice most of the time. Two, look and see how much she sells in the ring. She sells in the ring more with other people than she does other people. And I referenced last night, Lacey Evans. She didn't hardly ever sold for her, but she sells for Rhea Ripley. She likes Rhea. But Nikki Ash, she doesn't particularly care for.
Would you say she's a fan of Sasha Bailey, like them four horsemen?
Well, yeah, those are her friends. So she always sells for them. She always helps try to put them over.
Okay.
You'll, like I said, watch a Charlotte match and see if she's dominating most of the time, whether she's a heel or a face, if she's dominating most of the time, or if she's actually taking some things and she's selling, she acts like, oh, I might not be able to beat her and stuff like that. Or if you really want to do a quick one, just for one match, watch the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble, if she sells for you, she likes you. If she does not sell for you, she does not like you. It took two people to kick her out of the Royal Rumble this year. And I think it was Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. And what she did was she still landed her feet somewhat, and then she laughed at him when she did it. And she was in a personal feud at the time with Lacey Evans. Lacey should have been the one to throw her ass out. Harley Touch.
Wow, I didn't even
Harley Touch. She was not a fan of Lacey Evans.
Didn't even realize it. Wow. There you go. She won NXT women's title again. She doesn't
Which was
need
stupid to begin with because she did not need the NXT Women's Championship.
No, she didn't. I
even not have digressed. That was a demotion.
I felt like that that was a moment that Rhea could have beaten her, but whatever. It is what it is. I mean Charlotte. Oh God, Charlotte's a great one. But that was our NXT review show. I guess we should like really hype up some of these shows. I want to first, before I do that, I want to say executive. I refuse to say that. Executive consultant, I appreciate you being on, filling in for the real captain. And so why don't we hype up some of these shows? You know, on Mondays around 6 o'clock, you can catch Mike Knox Around the Block. It's for the smart wrestling fans. You guys can catch him around 6. Also on Mondays, you can catch the executive consultant and Evil Dose as they talk about Monday Night Raw and Nikki's Ash. Tuesdays, obviously, you can catch me and the captain on NXT. On Wednesdays, there's going to be a new change-up, but this week on AEW, it's going to be, there's a lot of noise going on in the back, but it's going to be me and Evil Dose, the singing duo, back together again. You guys are going to have a great time. Sir, do we have anything on for Thursday? I'm sorry, we have anything for entertainment?
Yes, I don't know why I don't have it up here, but it's actually going to be Grease 2 we're reviewing this coming Thursday at 9 o'clock p.m.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And on Friday, let me just... Oh, okay, there it was right there. On Fridays, it's going to be the technician and a special guest. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be a bad guy. Who knows? So you guys got to catch him on Friday. And Saturday, there might be some special treat. We'll let you guys know later on. And I think that's all the stuff that we got.
That's it.
Yes, I just want to make sure we go through all the chats because you guys are a part of the show. There's a Duke Ring from NXT. She won. Oh, so we got everything. That is everything. Hold on before we cut out. All right, so executive consultant usually asks my co-host any last words before we call it. Before we go home.
Have a good night.
There you go. He says, "Have a good night." So I say, "I'm the bad guy. I'm Badguy Jack. He's an executive consultant." And I say, "Mwah! Good night, everybody."